Hello and welcome to the show. For today's episode, I'm out and about in the parking lot, so expect to hear some interruptions in the background and apologies for when that happens. Now, today, what I want us to tackle briefly is I want to look at how not to sell as a fine girl. Now, let me repeat, how not to sell as a fine girl. This is one of those topics that I typically stay away from because I don't want to be cancelled in this day and age. But I had some experiences yesterday and I figured, man, the time has come. So let me at least start broaching the topic small. You know, it's something I've spoken about in passing, but today, let me just make an episode dedicated entirely to this. Now, the reason why I'm coming up with this today, how not to sell as a fine girl, is because yesterday I was chilling outside wifey's office and then I was approached by a smallie. She was a smallie and a cutie, but not a baddie. But, cutie complete with the lashes and the baby coil and the bodycon dress and, the everything, just regular smallie. And, first of all, I'm sure some of you will be saying that, yourself, what's wrong with you that people are always trying to sell you stuff in public? To be honest, I have no idea. But people just try to sell me stuff every week. I don't know. I'm just in public, minding my business. Someone walks up to me and then tries to sell. Although I entertain some of them because, I'm a salesperson myself. And so I know that the job is hard. So just, esprit de corps. So at least I engage some of them in conversation. But, for some reason, people are always trying to sell me something. Anyway, so like I said now, I was just chilling in the car. And, so this smallie, she walks up to me. And from the way she's approaching me, I know the game. So I just said, I hope you're not trying to sell me something. And then she said, no. And then from there, she moved on into compliments. She started complimenting me on my headset because I have a really correct headset. It's a gamer headset. I can't remember the company that made it. But the reason why I use gamer headset is because the batteries last very long. These things last forever. Like what I have is a mid-range gaming headset. So I think it's even here with myself. Let me just have a look at it and tell you guys what it is in case you're curious. Okay, it's a Nubwo, Nubwo. So it's a Nubwo. The model is a G06 BT. So let me put that down. Yeah, so that's it. So it's a Nubwo. It's not even a high-end something. It's just a mid-range phone. Sorry, not phone, headset. But like I said, this thing lasts forever. This thing has battery. The playback battery is, I think, 100 and something hours. So what that means is if you use your headphones for 20 hours every day, that thing is going to last you a week. So that's the reason why I love these things. So I take them around with me. It's easier to make phone calls that way because I'm constantly on the phone. So if you're going to be holding this thing to your ear every single time somebody calls, by the time you take 5-6 calls in a day, like you'll be tired. Your arm will hurt, your shoulders will hurt, and, your biceps will be hurting. If you don't believe me, just try it. I mean, when you take your business career a whole lot more seriously and you start trying to promote your business by picking up the phone and calling people, you see what I'm talking about. So a headset, is a necessity. So I made sure that I got something that looks good and lasts good. And in fact, my father-in-law is always teasing me whenever he sees me. He's like, this thing makes you resemble a pilot. So yes, I do get lots of compliments on the headphones. So she went into compliments on the headphones about how it was cool and everything and all whatnot. Next thing now, the babe started complimenting me on my keyboard as well. Some of you are wondering, headphones, keyboard, like how? That's because I always move around with a mobile office. I have a bag, so I just put my keyboard, I put my phone, I take my headset, just so that whenever I'm somewhere, I can be getting some work done. Maybe like there's something wrong with the kids. We're at the hospital. So, while we're there waiting for the doctor, because it's going to be a 4-hour wait, I just bring out my keyboard, bring out my phone, bring out my headset, and then, voila, I can start doing some work or recording a podcast or something like that. So I'm always ready to work. So that's the reason why the lady saw my headset and my keyboard. And from there now, she starts complimenting my phone. As well. And, like I said, I engage people now. So, we're talking and then she's, doing that smallie cutie thing of the laughing and the giggling and then the all whatnot. And then from there, she moves into, I want to introduce to you my aloe vera product. Remember, I told you guys that when she was approaching, I know the game because I get approached a lot. So I knew that, okay, this one, sales pitch, for sure. It's not as if she's somebody that I knew was coming to say, hey, what's up? How far now? Long time. I haven't seen you, blah, 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 all that kind of jazz. So I knew this one was a sales pitch. So the next thing says, I want to introduce you my aloe vera product. And the very moment she started the aloe vera thing, before I could go into look, I already told you that I'm not buying anything. That's when my wife showed up. And then things get awkward. My wife shows up and the babe doesn't even acknowledge, no greeting, no nothing. The babe just walks away. And then we drive off, and then my wife is like, what's that about? And then, we start talking about it. And after the conversation, I figured, let me just come and make this episode because there are a whole bunch of you who know that you're a fine girl. As in from day one, since the day you came out from mom's womb, everybody has been complimenting you. The doctors have been complimenting you. The nurses have been complimenting you. The teachers have been calling you fine girl. The boys in your class have been calling you fine girl. Your classmates have been calling you fine girl. Everybody knows that you're a fine girl. This applies to boys, by the way. It's just that I've already made the episode about how not to sell as a fine boy. So today, I'm tackling the thing about fine girls. I beg, do not cancel me, please. Please, woke guys and girls, don't cancel me. I'm just putting this thing out there because it has to be said. Some of you are trying to sell by relying on your looks, and that's not the way to go about it. It really is not. And looks are fading. Looks don't last. I mean, trust me. In my uni, myself, I was a fine boy. I was 6'1". My shoulders are broad as hell. I could bench press over 150 kg. I had a six-pack. My teeth were white. Correct white. But right now, all those things are gone. I have a pot belly. Okay, well, my shoulders remain small, but, I'm pot-bellied now. I'm still 6'1", but because of the pot belly, people think I'm not as tall as I actually am. In fact, the only thing I have left going for me right now is my voice. And to be honest, the voice will fade eventually. Because, in my family, everybody sounds nice. But I'm looking at some of my uncles now who are like 70 something. Eventually, even the voice starts to fade. So some of these things that people are relying on to try and sell, they're not going to last forever. Yeah, you're a cutie today, but the cutie is not going to last forever. The baby coils that you have on your head, things happen. Maybe like there's some women who, after childbirth, they start having receding hairlines. I mean, you never know. Anyway, so, so the reason why I'm making this episode is because there are too many fine boys and too many fine girls that are trying to leverage attractiveness and leverage a sense of coyness to sell. Now, is this thing good or bad? The thing is, I don't know, and I don't care, and I'm not going to give any verdict either way. So if you're a fine boy and you insist you want to use your fine boy to sell, okay, no problem. If you're a fine girl and you insist that you want to use your fine girl to sell, no problem. But the message I just want to put out today is, if you're going to use fine girl to sell, be careful. Be careful because sometimes people will try to buy what it is that you are not selling. Let me repeat, for those of you who are wise, listen. If you're trying to use fine girl to sell, no problem. But be careful because one day people will try to buy what it is that you are not selling. And I keep saying time and time again, that business and sales is hard enough as it is. We don't need to throw up things that are going to make our lives unnecessarily difficult. If you're trying to sell aloe vera, go and sell your aloe vera. Try and move your business. Instead of making things unnecessarily difficult, because you may sell 1 or 2 bottles, but then next thing, the guy wants your phone number, but then he's a married man, and then God forbid you guys start liking each other, and then what next? From aloe vera, you've now entered something that ordinarily you're not supposed to enter. There's a conversation that I had with one of my partners. She does she's more of a management trainer, and it's one of these conversations that we were having, and we're talking about things in the real estate space. And professionals now, we get together once in a while, and there's all this kind of talk, and they're talking about how people in the high-end real estate space, where the commissions are, like you're selling a property. Excuse me. Let's say you're selling a property, and the property is maybe like 400 million or something. and your commission is 10% or something, of course that's a healthy commission right there. So we're talking about how some people think that that's a good enough commission that will allow you to engage in some kind of unethical behavior because it's worth it. Anyway, let me not say too much, but if you want to use Fine Girl to sell, be careful. Some people will try to buy what it is that you are not selling. But anyway, instead of pontificating now, let's go straight to the business. Now, what could this young lady have done better? The first thing she should have done better, and I'm going to leave the fineness for now, is because if you're a fine girl, you're a fine girl. There's nothing you can do about that. She cannot make herself ugly, and she should not make herself ugly. So yes, by all means, dress up. If you're a cutie, you're a cutie. Do your cutiness. If you have baby coils, you have baby coils. Nobody can take that thing from you. So use the gel, do your baby coil thing. So, let's leave the fine thing. But things she could have done better. Number one, she should have leaned into the objection. If you're walking up to someone and somebody says, look, I hope you're not trying to sell me something, that is an objection. An objection is any reason that somebody gives for not wanting to continue the conversation, continue the relationship, continue the interaction, continue the whatever it is that you're doing. So the objection there was, look, I hope you're not trying to sell me something. She should have leaned in. She should have said, yes, sir. Actually, I am trying to sell you something. Is that a problem? Lean into the objection and then ask a question. If it ends up with, I'm not interested, the person says, I'm not interested, then the next thing is, okay, sir, but you don't know what it is that I'm selling and you don't know if it might be of benefit to you. That is how you should have done it. Lean into the objection. But either way, as a salesperson, we should never tell lies and we should never evade the truth. Because that is the beginning of people beginning to think that we are slimy and that we are anyhow people. And that is something that we want to avoid. Because we're in the business of selling something. We want to sell this thing as quickly and efficiently as possible, and without attracting some negative connotations to ourselves. So, if any of you reach out to me and I'm trying to solve some of your business problems, we're trying to come up with a selling framework, or maybe we're trying to do CRM implementation or something, my goal is to sell my services as quickly and efficiently as possible, give results as efficiently and as quickly as possible without attracting some negative connotations to myself. I don't want any of you to think I'm slimy. I don't want any of you to think I'm dishonest. I don't want any of you to think I'm too forward. I don't want any of that baggage. Mine is get in, get the money, get out. Build the relationship, enable repeat business, repeat purchases, and referrals, and then get more money. And that should be our focus. So don't tell lies. Don't evade the truth. So in this case, when I walked up to her, when she was walking up to me, and then I said, I hope you're not trying to sell me something. Should I have been honest? Yes, sir, I'm trying to sell you something. Is that a problem? Yes, sir, I'm trying to sell you something. Would you be interested to know what that is? Maybe it's something that might be helpful to you. But either way, you should have leaned into the objection. Now, the thing with the compliments, it's okay. People use compliments to build rapport. But in the business context, especially when you're dealing with the opposite sex, use compliments sparingly. So for me, if I'm with another lady and I notice something, I might compliment, one thing, but use it sparingly. By the time I say, Madam, Kai, this is your dress. It's on fire. Madam, your earrings. Oh, Madam, I love your wristwatch. Oh, Madam, your phone. After a while, Madam will start thinking, this guy stuff, like, what's going on? So use it sparingly. If it is a boy-to-boy conversation, it's a different thing. Like, guy, man, this your ride is sick. How much? Where did you get it? Like, more correct. Nice one. This your phone self. Be like, say, you're a stand-up guy. Oh. Nice one. Between guy and guy, that's not a problem. Between babe and babe, it's not a problem. But if babe's complimenting guy and, he's over-complimenting, like, like, what's going on now? And if guy is over-complimenting girl, so be careful. So for me, I advise people that, use compliments, but do it sparingly and be careful. And I prefer that people give compliments when they're doing need analysis in the course of a business conversation. So I can compliment somebody because they have set up their systems very well. they have standard operating procedures or they have a framework, maybe even if the framework hasn't been written down, yeah, I can make those kind of compliments because it's within the context of a business conversation and there is no way that anybody can mistake that kind of compliment. So if I say, Madam, I really love what you have built here. I can see the framework that you have established. SOPs are well laid out. The staff is professional. Madam, you're running a very tight ship here. Well done. Good job. There's no how tomorrow that madam can go and say that I was hitting on her. There's no way to misconstrue that kind of compliment. So use compliments to build rapport, but use it sparingly. And in my own opinion, do so in the course of a business conversation that cannot be misconstrued. Then another thing she could have done better, how to initiate cold conversations, because this is a cold conversation. I've never met her before. She doesn't know me at all. It is clearly a cold conversation. So the way to do this, I've said it on previous podcasts, but I'm just saying it here in case this is your first time of listening to this episode, is start with a problem-based opener. What this means is an opener is just a formula you have for opening a conversation. Open the conversation based around your problem or around your USP, your unique selling point, or your UVP, your unique value proposition. Start the conversation around there and figure out if there's any interest. If there is interest, continue the conversation. If there's no interest, leave and look for somebody else who might be interested. Because like in that case, I was not the only guy who was parked in the compound. There were 5 cars there. 4 of us were parked, 4 of us were men. I was not the only guy. She could have moved on to the next guy. So, this is how a problem-based opener can work for aloe vera. By the way, if you have children listening, this is the point of the podcast where you send the children away or you plug in your headphones because aloe vera apparently has many uses. So please, warning again, this is the PG part of the podcast. If you have children here, send the children away, let them go to their room, or please plug in your headphones so that the children do not hear what follows next. So this is how you initiate, this is a problem-based opener. You walk up to the stranger and you say, "Good afternoon, sir." Before I continue, one of the aloe vera has different uses. Some of the uses I could find were in skincare, in hair care, and as a lubricant. I repeat, skincare, hair care, and as a lubricant. That is the PG-18 part. So, for the skincare part, you walk up to the problem, you walk up to the person, and then you say, "Sir, do you experience problems with sunburn?" I mean, of course, we're out there, we're in the parking lot, I'm chilling in the car, I'm trying to get some work. So it's possible I might be experiencing problems with sunburn. Or, "Sir, do you experience problems with razor burns?" Because I'm a guy, so obviously I shave, but I don't use a razor. But it's not a bad way to start off the conversation. Or you can start off the conversation, "Sir, do you experience problems with dry skin?" That also makes sense because we're in Abuja, Harmattan is still here, so lots of people are walking around looking really ashy. Or, "Sir, do you have a problem with skin irritation?" Or you can start the conversation like, "Sir, do you use aftershave?" You can see that these are problem-based openers that can lead to a conversation. Some people will say sunburn, "Oh no, I don't have a problem with sunburn." And like I said, if there's room, continue the conversation. If there's no room, move on to someone else. So if somebody answers yes, if someone answers affirmatively to any of these things in your problem-based opener, you have room for a conversation. If the person experiences afterburns, obviously that is leaving room for you to make your presentation later on about the soothing benefits of aloe vera as an aftershave. So you see how it works. You see how we can show up with the right opener and get into a business conversation quickly and effectively without trying to coyly, fine girl, compliment your way into something. Sales and business is hard enough. Let's get in, get a customer, and get out. Get some repeat business. Get some referrals. And that's where the sweet money is. And maximize the lifetime value of a customer. And let's not leave room for any entanglements. That's how she should have initiated it. So those are problem-based openers based on the unique value proposition of aloe vera, that's with skincare. And those of you who are in Oriflame, I hope you guys are learning as well, even though Oriflame is not skin-based. So problem-based openers. So with the hair care, that also makes sense because right now I'm bald. Although I'm bald by choice. I just cut off all my hair because back when I was a fine boy in uni, I thought I was, bald and sexy. And so I've always liked that bald and sexy look. Just scrape everything and look like, a badass. You understand now? So that's how I used to roll back then. So once in a while, I just go and scrape my hair, just take everything off. So I'm bald by choice. But since she's just meeting me for the first time, she doesn't know whether I'm bald by choice. That could have been a conversation. No, good afternoon, sir. Do you have a problem with hair growth? You can also ask questions around dandruff or around itchy scalp. Those are problem-based openers that allow you to quickly get into a business-based conversation and allow you to do need analysis, and you can have a conversation sharp. You can see how if you come with a problem-based opener, you might have a conversation. Wifey shows up. Oh, good afternoon, ma. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, sir, I would love to continue the conversation later because I know that the product that I have can help you with this razor burn. It can help you with this dry skin, with this whatever. Sir, would it be okay for me to have your phone number? You can see that thing is cool, is clean, is clear. There's no fuzziness. There's no what's going on here. There's no, Of course, some men will be idiots. And no matter how professional that you try to be, the man will still try and toast you. But no problem. That one is, we will deal with the idiots later. But on your own end, let us not make room for any idiocy to, if that's a word, any idiocy to come up on our own account. So if you're dealing with a man who turns out to be an idiot, you deal with the F-up as it arises. But let the F-up not come from you. Then, problem-based openers around lubricant. To be honest, I'm not that creative. And I don't think it's appropriate for you to try and sell intersex. When it comes to aloe vera as a lubricant. So I'm just going to leave that one. For those of you who sell aloe vera as a lubricant, I don't know, let's talk one-on-one. Or, it requires more creativity. Let me just put it that way. But either way, you can come with a problem-based opener since you sell aloe vera products, around skincare, around sunburns, razor burns, dry skin irritation, and around grooming, aftershave. You can also start with a problem opener around hair growth, dandruff, itchy scalp, stuff like that. And the basic formula is you come, greet yourself, appropriate greeting, introduce yourself. For those of you who like to introduce yourself, for me, I think the introduction is not necessary, but we'll talk about that in a future episode. So come, greet, state your UVP, your unique value proposition, or state your unique selling proposition. Basically, state the problem that your product or your service solves, and then ask, is that a problem you face? Is this something that you're interested in? If the person says, I'm interested, or that sounds interesting, tell me more, then continue with the conversation and then go into need analysis. From the need analysis, you will now know which product to recommend. Because the aloe vera product that you recommend for hair growth will be different from the aloe vera product that you recommend for razor burns. So, that is how you roll. If the person says, I'm not interested, don't waste your time. Sales and business is hard enough as it is. If they say, I'm not interested, leave me alone, move on. Find other people to talk to. Find another person who might be interested. Your time is precious. Don't waste time like, okay, I don't want to give up. There might be a sale here. If I educate the person might... Like, no. No education. The person is not interested. Move on. Another thing she could have done better is just a normal dynamic when you're trying to sell to someone. Because I've been doing this for a while. So it's just normal. You're in a sales conversation with someone and the next thing boyfriend shows up or husband shows up. It's normal. You don't just keep quiet and then awkwardly fade. No. People are not doing anything. You're not having an affair. You acknowledge the other party. Hey bro, what's up? How you doing? Oh, good afternoon, sir. You acknowledge the other person. In our own case, good afternoon, ma. It's just simple. It's a normal dynamic. It's just market I'm trying to sell. I'm not trying to steal somebody's wife. So it happens. The husband shows up. Oh, good afternoon, sir. And then you take it from there. It's not a matter of, the husband comes. The next thing, me, I'll shrink away and then fade away. I'm not committing sin. I'm just trying to move market. So that's another thing she did wrong. So if you're in that kind of situation and then wifey shows up, I mean, you're a professional salesperson. You're trying to make a living. You're trying to sell a product. I acknowledge the other person. Good afternoon, ma. Anyway, let me just leave that one. Then, let me see. Okay, I've spoken too long. This is almost 30 minutes. But basically, let me just put out the warning to fine boys and fine girls. I've already done the fine boy episode, so let me not overstress it. But when you try to lean into your attractiveness, it's going to cause errors in your sales process. The example that I gave in the last fine boy episode was this guy that was a fine boy, or he thought he was a fine boy anyway. I mean, ladies will judge him to be a fine boy. We are roughly the same height, so he too is like 6'1", 6'2". He's a university boy, but he has that slim. Like me, I'm black. I think I'm like 2 spoons of Bonvita with one spoon of milk. That's how like I rate my complexion. But this guy is a yellow boy. He is like 1 spoon of Ovaltine with 5 spoons of milk. So that's how he is. Very yellow boy. And you know how those tall yellow boys can be now. They feel like they're God's gift to women. With the earring, with the stud piercing and the everything. So he feels like he's a fine boy. And that's how he parades himself. So what we're doing is we were at Brides and Babies. It was a bridal fair. And that's how me and my business partner at the time, that's how we used to drum up business. Go to bridal fairs, talk to brides live and direct, try and get meetings so that they could come meet us in the studio later on, and then we'll talk details and then try to close the deal. So when we got there, I warned him already. Now look, bro, what we're here for business. We're not here for fine boy. There's no time for fine boy here. Ours is get in, let's say we can get some business, and then get out. So no need for fine boy here. He said, okay, sir. And then he started trying to pull some fine boy moves. He'll walk up to ladies, and then he'll do that thing of the gentle elbow touch, and then the smile, and then try and initiate the conversation. It's one of those university fine boy techniques that work. But the thing is, it works in university, and it works in university for a reason. Because in the university, university setting is a closed setting now. So, the boy rolls up and he's a stranger, but at the very least, he's a student of the university. So that's why it works in a university setting. But now that we're in the big, wide open world in Abuja, you could be anybody. And so people respond differently. And of course, some ladies got some mad offense at what he was trying to do. And then as a fine boy that he was, now he was confused. Because of course in university, that kind of thing works. You roll up to someone, touch the elbow gently, give that fine boy a smile, disarm them, go into a charm offensive. Yeah, that thing works in uni. And then for some reason, this guy also failed to understand that, you try that stuff in uni, yeah, it's okay, I'm single, you're single, we're trying to mingle. But this one is different. We're in the bridal fair. So all the babes here, on the face of it, have already pledged their love and allegiance and their life to somebody else. So when you roll up on someone like that, there's mad intrusions into their space. And then, of course, fine boy was confused. And we had to have a conversation about that. And, anyway, we had to have a conversation about that. And I had to apologize, not profusely, but small apology to 1 or 2 people. Just, a waving apology, When you're leaning into your attractiveness, it's going to cause you to make errors in the sales process. And this is the reason why I say we need to take a framework and a process-oriented way to sell. So that if you're ugly, you will sell. If you're a fine boy, you will sell. If you're a fine girl, you will sell. If you're tall, you will sell. If you're short, you will sell. If you're black, you will sell. If you're yellow, you will sell. If you're albino, you will sell. If you have vertigo, you will sell. Whatever it is, you will sell. If you're Hausa, you will sell. If you're Igbo, you will sell. Take a framework and a process-oriented way, and you will be fine, regardless of who you are and where and how you were born. Please, I'm not saying that those of you who are fine boys and fine girls should make yourself ugly. I'm just saying that don't lean into fineness. Lean into the process. Your fineness might serve as an advantage, and if it does, well, yeah, take advantage of it. I mean, like me, some people think I sound nice. Nothing I can do to change my voice. I mean, it's there. But still, I'm following the process. If somebody seems to like my voice, then hey, no problem, that's a sweetener. But I'm not going to lead with the fact that people think I have a nice voice. And then I try to bamboozle people in the sales process using my voice. And I'll go on the charm offensive. So take a framework and process-oriented way to sell. That's the reason why the podcast is here. And these are the sorts of things we talk about on the podcast. And take it from me. For those of you who are fine boys or fine girls. Well, first off, you're a fine boy. If you're a cutie, you're a baddie, you're a fine boy, you're whatever. First of all, like I tell everybody, I tell my sister-in-law, like, enjoy it. It's a stage of life where you actually should, enjoy. The dresses look good on you. If you're a boy, the t-shirts look nice on you. Like I really loved basketball jerseys and wife beater t-shirts. I don't know why they call them wife beater t-shirts. Because for me, that's what I was trying to emphasize. I wanted people to see my chest. I wanted people to see my arms. I'll put some work into my biceps and my triceps. And I wanted, I look good. And I wanted people to see it. So yes, if you're a fine boy, you're a fine girl. Man, enjoy. Enjoy it. It's your time. You're reigning now, so enjoy it. But just know it doesn't last forever. So if you're going to use that as a business investment, I don't know, maybe you should be looking at the Kardashians to teach you how to sell. But outside of that, just know, I can tell you from first-hand experience, shoulders can fade. Six-packs can fade. My teeth are now kind of yellow looking. I have to go and see a dentist. I don't know what's up. My children still abuse me about my teeth until today. Whatever it is, it's not going to last. The only thing that will remain is a sound sales process. And that is why I know that I'm going to be fine. So back when I was a fine boy, I knew I could sell. Now that I'm an average boy, I know I can sell. When I'm older and, I become a papillo, I will still be able to sell. Because I'm using a sound sales process. And it's the same thing that you should do. So as a cutie, make sure you have a sound sales process. As a baddie, make sure you have a sound sales process. As a fine boy, make sure you have a sound sales process. So that while you're a cutie, a baddie, a fine boy, you will sell. As you grow older and some of those things fade and you're now back into average territory, you will still sell. Even if you have an accident and somebody pours acid on your... No, that's extreme. Okay, even if you grow up and you have hormonal changes and your hair falls out, you will still be able to sell. Hope you guys catch the drift what I'm trying to say. So if you're fine, you're fine. You can't get rid of it. But don't use that to initiate the sale. Especially for those of you who are selling cold, walking up to strangers. Start with a problem-based opener. Talk about the problems that your product or service solves. Ask a question to get some feedback to confirm if they're interested. If they are, good. Continue the conversation. If they're not, time is fleeting. Move on. Look for another prospect to talk to. So, this is my first episode on how not to sell as a fine girl. Depending on who I meet or other clients that I counsel later on, I might have some more ideas about that. But please, I want to beg. You guys don't counsel me. Woke people, don't get my motives the wrong way. I beg. it's unfortunately, these are just things that it's just nature of the beast. It's the profession. It's just nature of the beast. I'm currently with a client right now where this is one matter I'm trying to resolve. This client has a business partner. It's time for them to hire some more talent. One business partner thinks, let us hire fine girls. Another business partner is saying, Ogbeni, what is your fascination with fine girls? Anybody can sell this thing that we are selling. Let us hire anybody. Must it be fine girl? And that's what I'm in the middle of. Because people still have a poor understanding about the role that looks and attractiveness and all whatnot have in the sales process. So there's a lot of confusion about these sorts of things. So anyway, it's not the first time I'm talking about these things. It won't be the last, just because it's the nature of the beast and these are the conversations that people have. So in medicine and engineering, people don't worry about whether you have a handsome engineer or a sexy doctor. It's a matter of, does the engineer know book? And can he build this bridge? And this bridge is not going to fall. And does this doctor, does she know her medicine? Did she graduate first class? Is she the best brain surgeon in Nigeria? And no problem, hire her, regardless of her looks. But in sales, unfortunately, we still have these sorts of conversations. Like, okay, we want to sell insurance. Okay, let's get fine boys. From where to where? Or, okay, we want to sell cars. Okay, sure, no problem. Let's, as it happens in America, let's put a fine girl on the billboard, or let's put a fine girl on the motorcycle. I say, from where to where? So anyway, these are some of the conversations that we still have. Anyway, let me wrap it up today. Been on for too long. If you'd love to connect for a strategy session, the business audit, or you have questions you'd like me to answer, the phone number is 080-6466-2140. The country code is +234 for those of you who are not Nigerian. Thank you very much for your time and attention. If you'd love to connect with me on LinkedIn, the name to look for is Tabishima Ayede. I also have a YouTube channel, same name. All these videos are there in case you're not a podcast person. So I'll catch you guys at the next episode. And if you are a fine boy, fine girl, baddie, cutie, smallie, G-boy, whatever, listening to this thing, please look for the principles, take it, apply it to your situation. The fact that, you're a fine boy, you're a fine girl, it's a bonus. It's a blessing. It's an extra. It doesn't mean it's the first thing that we're going to go to try and get a sale done, or to try and move our initiatives along, or to try and make our way on in this world. It's possible for you to use your looks to make your way in the world. It is just not, I just don't recommend you start with that. The fineness is an advantage, but it's not the main thing. So I'll catch you guys at the next episode.